All of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspect standing trial in this case.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I'll say good morning to some of you. I'll say good morning to some of you wherever you're listening to me from. You know why I'm laughing is we're all putting on red, myself and OG, for obvious reason. Today's election. Um, today's election, so we don't know who is going to win. So the video that I played at the beginning clearly shows the lying state attorney, someone who is prosecuting young children, and he is lying to the whole world, to Nigerians, that these young children are all adults. Say that some of them are university graduates, and even went further to say that they are married. And I don't know, this has nothing to do with tribe, ethnicity, or region. This has to do with our collective humanity as Nigerians. And this is where we have to sometimes condemn, obviously condemn things that are not right. And when I look at this, that this man here, let me actually bring him before I go back to these guys. So when I look at this, saying this,
He brought to the court today. All of them are adults.
Now, the moment he said all of them are adult, look at this man on his left. The man was like, watch the two lawyers behind him, how they will react.
Most of them are married men.
These guys were like, oh God, they lie small now. Even Satan self, they shame. Look,
None of them is a minor.
even the one on the right was like, I can't even laugh. Papo Binonye Dot, thank you for joining me. So you look at this man, you listen to him, you just think to yourself, man, these guys are actually just lying machine. In fact, the only person that can compete with them is Lying Mohammed.
Some of them are university graduates.
Hey, at this point, both of them looked at themselves. At this point, both of them looked at themselves. Hey, these children, they don't graduate. I believe the other one will be thinking, man, Oga, we go adult school. Oh. If these children at age of 12, 13 is already graduated, they graduated, married, and fending for their family, and we thinking that we are smart young lawyers, but here we are, adults, old.
The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones.
Hey, see, this man should be given the Minister of Lying in Nigeria. The kids, they are no longer small adults, they are no longer small minors, but now they are children that came to greet their relations.
They are not even the real suspect standing trial in this case.
Well, if they are not the real suspects standing trial, so why do you keep them? Why do you have to keep them? So why did you have to bring them into court if they are not the real suspect standing trial? Now, eventually, Bola Remi Tinubu has ordered that these children be released, right? And in releasing these children, it brings something very clear to us, that the president has the right to actually do a lot of things. So when people say, oh, you cannot have peace in the Southeast because they cannot release Nnamdi Kanu because he has to go through the court process, bear in mind that these children were charged with treason. These children were charged with treason. So if you want by this action that he can actually instruct that these children should be released. What it means is that he has the powers to actually withdraw these charges of treason as well and say, in this region of Nigeria, I want peace to reign. It all now behoves on him to do the right thing. Now, but this is also, as we normally do, let's take Arai's analysis on this.
It mean? Speaking about treason, flags, and all of that, I know you guys took this, but we would like to highlight what Nigerians have said about the release. Well, following the directive by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who on Monday ordered the immediate release of minors said to be end bad governance protesters held in prison for over 90 days.
These are children, oh. These are children. You can see how malnourished they are. You can see the skeleton here. You can see the skeleton everywhere. And you can see how they were rushing granuts. Granuts, not even agbado, no, granuts. Granuts. And these are ones a lawyer will tell you that these children you're looking at, that they are married and they have kids.
Nigerians have reacted. Well, in a briefing to State House correspondents, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, said that President Tinubu issued a directive to the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi.
The President has directed that these children, these minors, be released immediately.
You see, when a government is lying against itself, here is a lawyer in court, state prosecutor, lying that these children are not minors. But here is a minister, the one that took over from the lying machine, saying that these children, he used the word, they are children, they are minor, and they've been, they asked to be released. So, who are we going to believe now? Remember, there is someone who is approaching the throne of lying that has double mouth. You know who I'm speaking. He speaks from two sides of the mouth. I won't call in them, but you should know who I'm speaking to.
This is, of course, without prejudice to whatever legal processes there are. Of course, if you look at this issue, there is the legal side of it, but there is also the human angle, the humanitarian side of it.
So if we can actually do legal and human side of it, then the arguments some of us will posit is, if we come to the issues concerning the Southeast and the insecurity bedeviling the Southeast, that many argue that is exacerbated by the increased agitation, because the people engaging in agitation believe that their leader is being extraordinarily renditioned and protesting for that to, for him to be released. So if we're going to have peace in this region by releasing the individual in question, the question is, at this point, by your argument that there is in one plank legal questioning and there is the other one that has to do with humanity. So what is good for the ganja is also good for chicken.
Mr. President has directed that whatever the circumstances are, let the minors be released. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs has been directed by the President to ensure that they have safe return and reunion to their family members.
All right. I mean, I think it's a great development.
While this is a great development, those of you joining me for the first time, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. Come on. Let me know. This is a night distance, so let's know where you are joining me from. Where are you joining me from? Are you joining me from America? If you're joining from America, have you voted? And if you have voted, who did you vote? If you haven't, vote here on Njenje Media by just clicking the like button, click on the share button, and pay your new month tight.
When I saw the story yesterday, my heart was at rest. I mean, knowing that the president is listening. As much as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs is going to go, make sure that they are home, I hope that there's also some sort of rehabilitation program that will be set aside for these children. I'll take some reactions. This is from Samuel, who wrote, "Releasing them is good news, and kudos to the lawyers and Nigerians that lamented against the evil perpetrated to the kids. But the question remains, what can the government use to compensate the mental and physical damage done to them? How can they avert the trauma as they grow?" Another Twitter user, Mega Mixer, wrote, "After they have successfully demarketed Nigeria, I guess they have now concluded and realized that protests should not be treason in Nigeria. I repeat, those who purportedly fought for democracy and the rule of law in Nigeria are today fighting the same democracy and the rule of law. They championed protests at a time, but today protests are seen as a weapon fashioned against them. Time is indeed the true test of one's identity and true intentions." Another Twitter user, Dr. Ife Akandu, wrote, "So over 30 minors were detained by the police for months simply because they expressed their right to free speech and to protest against bad government. These harmless minors were charged by officers of this same Tinubu government of attempting to overthrow the government of President Tinubu. These minors were so charged, and neither the president nor the AGF bothered to find out the profile of the people charged with attempting to overthrow a democratic government. It took outcry of Nigerians for the president to get to know the profile of those charged of attempting to overthrow his government. It is indeed a sad day for Nigeria, so heart-wrenching and destabilizing. Then we have the police chief saying the malnourished children were acting drama by pretending to faint in open court. There is no better definition for wickedness against citizens." I mean, this gentleman's tweet, Vimbai, I thought was quite apt in terms of profile. But still, I don't think we actually have the profile of these people that, made these children go out to carry out these flags or Russian flags that they now say is a treasonable offense. Do you really think that the identity, I mean, I know that they're going to continue on with the investigation, but the main thing is that it took 90 days for these young children to be kept or held, 97 days, I believe, to be held in prison, and yet we have no identity or no profile of those that made these.
Look at this one on Singlet. Look at all of these children, not even up to 13, no matter what, no matter whatever you say. And someone will come up to tell us that these children are 30, they are married, they are this, they are the other one. I mean, what manner of human beings can actually be doing this and, expecting Nigerians to just clap for them? In the same vein, Professor Joy Ezilo, whom I have had here once, I think about 2-3 times on this program, on this platform, had the following to say. As a result of these young people that were arrested at these, protests.
I couldn't even believe it that in this 21st century that we can have such a situation. It was such an that shamed all our humanity, put Nigeria in a dent in our process, especially criminal system. Because if you look, it's very clear, laws, or even the state laws, the national laws, regional and international laws, there are ones that with the issue of protection of juveniles by law. The Beijing rules are there, the Raya principles are there, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the Child's Rights Act, the African Charter on rights and welfare of the child. All of these things Nigeria has ratified. And we actually have also municipal laws covering it. So it's not an issue of absence of law. But what I see, systemic failure, when police have extensive powers, these powers are unchecked, especially the power to arrest and detain, and people don't question even their superiors. But when they send them to prison, the prison refuses and say, no, we cannot accept these minors. And eventually they were detained in the former SARS facilities. People, even if they are public officers, law enforcement officers, must understand standards that in their area of operation, and understand that they must be accountable for failure to follow the extant law, because their work is to maintain law and order. We are not saying that children cannot be in conflict with the law. Children commit crimes, and if they commit crimes, various crimes, you divert them from formal, as minors, formal process of the law. And that diversion means if they must be tried, it must be in the juvenile justice, juvenile courts.
That's all. And I actually agree here with Professor Zero, who marshaled out her plan, her argument, smartly here, saying that if you must try these young children, then you must try them in the appropriate court. However, Kenneth Okonkwo at the Rise TV this evening even gave the real cocoa, the real gist. You know him, that Kenneth Okonkwo, he actually says it the way it is. He knocks the makbako. He brings it to the altar and the table of Bola Remi Tinubu and the APC government, and said that these guys are so wicked. In fact, it is sweet for a mouth.
Before you can begin to think about treasonable felony, it is a shame that these children have been degraded, dehumanized unnecessarily. Let me tell you, Section 34 is very clear. Every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person, and accordingly shall not be subjected to torture, inhuman or degrading treatment. These children have been subjected to torture, inhuman and degrading treatment. And you can imagine this government saying that they were faking their fainting in court. May I ask, all those ribs that were exposed, that showed signs of malnourishment, were these children also faking it? The only fake thing I have seen in this Nigeria presently is this government lying at every opportunity, even lying against children. Children that are almost dying. You could see it. And you say they are faking, they are fainting. They were running after granuts. They were running, they were already hungry. And now you put them to die. This government is inhuman. I have not seen such an issue before. So it's not about Tinubu releasing them.
So this government is inhuman. There is no other way to say it. There is no even a better way to put it than what he has said, that this government is inhuman. That this government, honestly, to be honest with you guys, I don't know how else to say this, because this guy just captured it aptly what the whole core issue is, right? That is what we call the real cocoa of the matter. Pechi Franklin is joining us from the United States, and Pechi Frank says he has voted. So you are voted, and I am happiness that you voted. So that when the result and the party you voted, start the party, I hope you're going to like the party you voted. So I don't know, did you vote red or blue? Right? So let's see. Now, we're still on this, we are still on this. And in all this, you will hear something like this.
These boys that we brought to the court today, all of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates.
And this one, Seth, now he will go home, he will pack his file, He will go to his Amaria and he will say, I have gone to work, I have come back today, and I've actually worked. Let's leave this particular story. Let's go to the real story. Honestly, voted for Kamara. Okay. Good luck to you and your Kamara. Hope she wins. Now, let's, move fast forward a little bit and go to the real cocoa. The real cocoa is that our NSA, Ribadu, is resigning as NSA, DSS, NSA. Make una listen. Ribadu is resigning. That is the real story here. Ribadu is resigning. Ask me if he resigns, what is he going to do? The Ribadu is opening a church, is opening a worship center with Tinubu's wife. They are opening new, what's it called? They are opening a prayer house where people will come and pray. We no longer need gun. No? What do we need gun for? NSA, no, we don't. Listen, we don't longer need CCTV. We no longer need armored tanks. We no longer need APGs. We no longer need AKs. We no longer need pistol. We no longer need bulletproof. We need prayer house. So these guys, one is going to resign as first lady, and the other one is going to resign as NSA, and both of them would open they will open a church, and they would be preaching. The one will probably open mosque, the other one will open a church, and that God that has been deaf, that he doesn't want to hear Nigerians complain. So that God must hear by fire by force. So the God must come, and that God must hear what he must come and touch them and say that is it, right? But before we get to that point, listen the way Atiku once again knocked T-Pain. Atiku is adding some level of violence in what all he does now. Look at how he knocked T-Pain some akpako.
Well, all right. Well, in the meantime, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu, and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, are set to lead a national prayer session aimed at addressing Nigeria's numerous challenges.
You see, the government will not cease to amaze me. If we have insecurity, share rice. If we protest, share rice. If we have insecurity in the south, share rice. If herdsmen attack, share rice. If there is miscarriage, share rice. If you have a minor, share rice. Now, instead of providing us security and numerous challenges facing Nigerians, the new one now that we are in this week is prayer. As Nigerians has become idiots, that I don't know why people used to still go to school. People should just pray now. Let the books enter their brain. Why do we actually need to train our soldiers? Why don't you raise your hands on them and pray? All the textbooks or the trainings that they ought to do in 5 years will just enter their brains. Why do we even need ministers? Why don't you pray that things work? Oh, I forgot. Silly me. Why did we even buy that presidential jet? We should pray that our Emiloko something should develop some wings and fly.
The event, organized in collaboration with Christian and Muslim leaders, is intended to seek divine intervention as the country faces ongoing crises affecting various sectors, while a cross-section of Nigerians have.
The people that are causing the crisis are all these men you see here, all of them, with the exception about 1 or 2%, even if it's up to 1 or 2%, all of them. Those that are not yet stealing are standing on the corridor to steal. Those that are stealing have sown agbada, adding more larger pockets to contain the largesse. And we are there. These are the men that came to pray, to rescue an ailing nation. Ah, Jesus Christ. You know, sometimes I say, the creator of heaven and earth, maybe you'll be looking at Nigeria and say, man, the day I created these people, I just weep.
Have reacted to the development, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who mocked the idea in a post on X, saying that the administration is in a hurry to take over power without a coherent plan. His tweet reads in part, "Like many fellow Nigerians, I firmly believe that we find ourselves in this current economic turmoil due to the Tinubu administration's hasty ascent to power, devoid of a coherent plan. Isn't it fascinating how the so-called tested Tinubu administration's only policy response seems to be a national prayer led by the First Lady and the NSA? Just a mere 24 hours after I propose my alternative solutions. What a bold strategy in my humble interpretation of the scriptures. Prayer indeed serves as a noble path to follow. However, the sacred text also counsel us to engage in diligent labor and hard work. You know, this happened. I mean, I believe it was just 2 days ago or 3 days ago when Atiku Abubakar, proposed some policies and Bayo Ononuga attacked him. I don't know if you saw that tweet where Bayo Ononuga attacked him, but of course, reactions have trailed this national prayer. Let me take this tweet from Badebo Rose Vival.
Anyway, the bottom line here, and nothing to summarize, rather than to say that faith without work is like a dead body. A dead body that died in 1945, not even a current one. Faith without work. You just go and sit down somewhere. You can pray, knock your head, use razor, cut yourself, do whatever. From here to Jerusalem, from here to Jerusalem, nothing will work, right? Like one of the pastors that was actually saying that. In line with what Peter Obi said, and people are taking it out of context, that we waste so much economic power, or rather economic time, praying. And that is what the NSA is actually doing here. I mean, there is no gainsaying. I'm not saying that prayer doesn't work, but the issue is that we do not work, but we just want to pray. But I'm telling you, you can take that to the bank that if you just pray without doing the work, just like you can imagine now, NSA now, if Boko Haram is trying to overrun Nigeria, and some people are saying Kawasaki, Yamaha, whatever, right? And the other ones are saying you can do all those rubbish from here to tomorrow until AK-47 or the bullet hit your skull. Either you have a brain reset or you kiss yourself goodbye.
In conclusion, please, I want to beg you, in this church, like you said, engage in business. Stop wasting economic hours in church. You know what we call economic hour? Somebody going to mountain. This is June now. Some people, they enter into mountain on 31st of May. They come back 8th of June. Which God are you begging? Is it so wicked? If she has shop, she locked that shop for 8 days. And she's expecting transformation. And she considered that one faithfulness. Every member of this church, if you're a businessman, immediately after this service, go and open your shop. If you're in abroad, after the service, you go to your work and clock in. People work on Sunday. God never sent them to hell because of working on Sunday. What of doctors and nurses? Somebody now, he pray overnight. Then he get to a place of work, start dosing. You have a place of work. You now go Vigil. You are now dosing. They're supposed to sack you. You're not faithful. Why should you be dosing in an official hour? We used to be foolish in those days. Now I say we are going for a 1 week conference. We obtain leave or we obtain permission in the place of work. Go and do that one in USA. Before you come, they have replaced you. Stop using economic hours. God is not wicked. God is love. No, there are poverty in our land. But if you can still work, you will eat. Somebody who's supposed to rest and the body recuperates in preparation for Monday work. We now be leaving Fiji by 3 a.m. Then when it's supposed to transfer 3:30 100,000. He transferred 300,000 because he was dosing. He now say it's devil. It's not devil. You don't rest. It's not devil. It's you. You are too careless. We learn it here. They gain by being faithful. Take time to know about your business. Stop wasting the economic hour to pray. God is not wicked. He has blessed us. Look at a very bright weather. Look at the green vegetation. Look at the air that we are breathing in. Abundance of green plants, resources.
Preach on,
everywhere.
preacher.
Take your time.
Preacher, preach on. Preacher, preach on. Let's get another pista. Another preacher to...
You can complain about the current Nigeria from today till tomorrow. It won't change anything. The way you solve it is to create. Once God created this planet and gave us dominion over it, he stepped out. That's why sometimes those of us that are Christians and can pray, sometimes we take it too far. We do not understand where the line is drawn between the responsibilities of humanity and the responsibilities of divinity. But with time, if you study closely, you will find out that God will never do for you what he has given you power to do for yourself. He only does what you cannot do. Every time God gets to that point where he knows you can do it, he stops. And in between there, it will seem as if it's a smooth, continuous flow, but it is not. In between there is that point where there is a separation between the responsibilities of divinity and the responsibilities of humanity. I pray that the average Christian in Nigeria and Africa will recognize that point. Angels will never construct roads for us. Forget it.
When I see, I'm hope that the pastor in Aso Rock that is married to the president, I hope that she is listening. That this nonsense you people want to use anyway. The thing is that when you see the money earmarked for these prayers, you would actually understand the reason why this prayer is being done. Because there is a budget for it. There is a budget. And who are, when you now go and look at the names behind those budgets, certain things might begin to be much clearer to you. You understand the reason why these things are done. They are not done because they love you so much. It's just because somebody has to chop. And that's why things are happening. Isn't it a clear case of total failure that security? I mean, just close your eye for once now in England or America or Germany. I mean, where you are, you hear, oh man, like England now, the riot they had, they will say, oh man, immigrations are, these illegal immigrants are crossing the English Isles, and they're coming in and they're invading England. Let's pray so that it stops. Oh, Roba Santa, ra, 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 ra. So suddenly, when they were praying, maybe the English Isle or the canal, whatever it is, it will either the water will rise or the water will grow, or the ship carrying them, whatever, will capsize, or those crossing from Libya to Italy, whatever, something drastic will happen. Come on now. These people say, honestly, sometimes, if not just to steal money, those in authority, sometimes I'm ashamed they shame me, honestly.
He wrote, Israel is at war, deploying an iron dome, not the Lion of Judah. Saudi and UAE are creating new economic realities for their people. And there is Nigeria seeking national prayers, not because they believe in it, but because they want to hoodwink the people.
No, they want to share the money. It's not even hoodwinking. It's the real reason is because they want to share the money. There has been some billions earmarked for these prayers, and they want to share these billions.
What Nigeria needs is a change of leadership from those who pursue their narrow interests to those who are competent, have character, compassion, and an ambitious vision for their people. It is possible, Rufi.
And you see, that's why for all the people that were going after Peter Obi, the truth is that man has said the truth. This is exactly the mindset we have. Was it not on this table we heard the other day that some people wanted to go and pray against bandits, military officers, if my memory serves me right? We have become a nation of jokes. See, I didn't see any big display in Saudi. I saw a country, only religious, I saw a country that was intentional about its success and growth. Oji, 500 real notes. They wrote their vision 2030 on it. You know what the Bible says? Make your vision plain. This administration does not have a plain vision. Prayer will not solve everything. See, if you want to move a mountain, it's not by saying, hey, God, move it. No. God has given you the brain to think of the things that will help you move a mountain. Bible was talking about Israel having the Iron Dome shield. It's technology. Like Fela would say, technology. If you don't put things in place, and the solution to Nigeria's problem is clear leadership and thinking. President Tinubu has not laid down an economic plan to bring Nigeria out of this quagmire. He keeps saying, oh, things are going to get better. Now that one we go shop. A man that says, statistics we go shop. He start telling you to pray your way out of economic problem. So we are not ready. See, Saudi was intentional about pivoting. Saudi started going against some of their hitherto religious conventions. We're talking about WTA, women going to play WTA in scanty attires. Because Saudi wants to attract a lot of investment. As I got into Saudi, Oji, I saw an Eminem show be advertised. That's an Islamic country. But an Eminem show with audio mark and some other American artists was advertised.
All right.
So we are not ready.
All right.
And please, President Tinubu, take feedback.
All right.
It's
Well, I want
prayer.
Dr. Abati's comment on this prayer. I don't know how it is.
Very briefly.
NSA too is involved in the
Very briefly.
national.
Now, in other countries, they have national prayer breakfast meetings. They have it in the US every Thursday, every first Thursday of February. It was started by members of Congress and what they call the National Prayer Breakfast Association. And in some parts of the US, states also have national prayer breakfast days. In other words, since Dwight Eisenhower, every American president has attended that. There is a private thing, organized privately. They have it also in Australia by members of parliament. They have it also in the UK by members of the UK parliament. They just pray for the country. And I think that, look, yes, the point that Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar was making is that, yes, there is something to be said for prayers. But prayers should not become substitute for hard work.
Exactly.
The question to ask is, First Lady and National Security Advisor, who is organizing this national prayer? I hope it's not a government project that will be budgeted for. And everybody will be following. It will become a Tinubu administration project. That's not how they do it in other parts of the world. Right. There must be a distinction between private issues and public issue. And Nigeria says in Section 10 that this is a secular state. There shall be no official religion. So those who want to pray can pray. But let them not bring it into government. And no penny of the Nigerian government, whether it's security vote or not, must be spent. Okay. Now, in fact, the prayer must not take place inside government premises. They should look for a neutral place. But you cannot stop them from praying. After all, there's freedom of religion, freedom of thought in this country. And prayers will not address monetary policy. Prayers will not bring down fuel price.
Absolutely not.
Prayers will not stop the Ebim power phenomenon well said, into Dr. which we are all trapped.
Well said. Only yesterday we took Peter Obi's story where he said he's going to make night vigils or turn them into night shifts for productivity. And I think that is a key point as well. Well said. Well, let's take another story. This time in Equatorial Guinea. Social...
Equatorial Guinea story, I beg. No be me and Donna this night. Right? Equatorial Guinea, Mr. Wiper, 400 people. Unbelievable. I mean, man was approaching King Solomon, to be honest with you. But that's a different thing. Let me quickly bring something that I think will be interesting to us here. That is the interview done yesterday by Doyin Okukbe. And I listened to the interview. I said, now, wow. Now, so the thing be. And I rang a friend of mine during the campaign when Doyin was the DJ. I know certain things that we put on the table. And when we reflect now at some of the things that happened, he said, man, a clear truth. That's all. A clear truth. They say, Pawine Tapa, not the quick finish the talk, the things where you see from the up up three. But I think it's interesting actually to listen to Doyin Okukwe in this interview. Many of you have criticized him on some of the things he vomited in this interview. I don't know where you stand, but let's listen.
That is evidently concerned. I was shocked. He told me that, look, I know there's a lot of criticism, but I'm busy and I am focused on what I'm doing. I see a man that is passionately concerned, resolutely committed, and determined to work, even at his age.
You saw that only in the few minutes you met with him?
I didn't meet him. I was with him for 1 hour. I mean, give me a break. I could. I mean, that's what I even prayed with him.
They don't start again. Doyin is telling us that he went to see Tinubu and that he even prayed with him. When I hear something like that, it reminds me. Remember when Yaradua was already dead, or rather, some will say that he was brain dead, and people like Oyedekbo came and told Nigeria that they met with the president when Dora Akunyelu, professor, late, was telling Nigeria that I am the Minister of Information, but I have no information to give you, Nigerians. Dora Akunyelu, may her soul rest in peace, blew the lead, blew the whistle, telling Nigerians that this nation is running on autopilot. But even at that, men of God, sometimes I don't even know if it is the big G or the small G, the men of whatever they are, right? I don't know if it is the small G or the big G, but whichever G that is. Now we are doing is telling us that he went to see Tinubu. They spent an hour, and that he even prayed with Tinubu. Okay, maybe by the time we wake up tomorrow, all our energy transmission line must have been fixed.
Because I was so impressed.
Literally, like prayers, like Christian prayers?
Yes, I held his hands. His son was there while he was there, and I prayed for him. Because I saw a genuine person.
Are you a pastor now, or you're just like a Christian?
I'm an evangelist.
Oh, okay.
You know that.
All right.
And
offering time, blessing time. So make we do offering for Doyin. I beg, make we do offering. Use the super sticker and super stack. Make we do offering. Make we do offering for Doyin. Doyin is telling us now he's an evangelist. So Ma says, okay, I am. I don't know. What am I actually? Tell me what I am in the comment section. But maybe I'm so confused now. I don't even know what I am. Am I an evangelist, a prophet, or a pastor? Well, the amount of money you give me will determine what I am.
I really don't have any much more concern in this country, except that it must work. And we must, if for it to work, we've got to support whosoever is on seat. And this gentleman happened to be a good friend that I've known for a long time. And I am very certain about his capacity and capability.
And
I've said it before.
Someone that you have heavily criticized also.
Yes, because we have never been in the same party, but you understand that that's politics. But
it's interesting that you have suddenly changed your mind.
I didn't change my mind.
You became a firmer believer now. When I came out, your political standpoint.
No, sir. When I came out to run for president under PDP, you will recall. Let anybody go and check my Twitter space. On the 21st of March, 2022, I said if Bola Tinubu wins the nomination of the APC, he's going to do well. I said that.
Do you think he's doing well right now?
He's doing exceedingly well, and he's going to do much, much better.
I don't want to offend all of you Nigerians that are watching me. Doyin Okukwe is looking you in the eyes and say that Bola Tinubu is doing exceedingly well. Please, is Doyin is Bola Tinubu doing exceedingly well? Do you agree with doing? I mean, so that no one should accuse me that I do not like the president.
We reduce the purchasing power of the people. We can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we'll take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the country instead of additional layer of taxes.
Okay. Maybe what this man is telling us that our purchasing power has not been reduced. I know that before Tinubu became the president, while people were still in court, you had $1,000, you have about 620 or 30,000 naira. But now you know where that money is leaving you. I will shake and shake and shake, Oga.
The first subsidy is gone.
Many of you are actually saying that this statement here was what, changed everything. But again, if I say, Oga, was it what changed everything? Oh, Mr. Chairman, I am very sorry. I didn't know that that's not what changed it. But let me go back and bring Doyin. So after you prayed with him, you are telling Nigerians that he's going to do well. Doyin, am I right?
Bola Tinubu needs understanding, not undermining.
Okay.
Oh, Nigerians, we're all idiots. This is the problem now. Now we know he needs understanding, not undermining. Oh, so why didn't they give Jonathan understanding? Why did they undermine him? Oh, did Okukpe work with Jonathan? No, he didn't.
He needs,
just a little of, let's put things in perspective.
Yeah.
So that we don't offend the sensibility of our viewers. And I wouldn't like any of my guests on the program.
I'm giving my own opinion.
Yeah, but your opinion is not gospel. It might not be factual.
You cannot say it's not factual.
It might be factual.
Listen. Gentlemen, don't fight. Let me come in between two of you. The opinion might offend so many people. And I see my viewership is going down because your opinion are offending people already. But let me tell you, I beg you, those of you, if you are joining me for the first time, please subscribe. Don't be offended because of what this man is saying. But just pay attention and listen to him. Eventually, make up your mind.
So when you say that, and that's why I wanted you to take a pause to explain what you meant by the fact that the Bola Tinubu government is doing very well.
He's doing well.
So what do you mean well?
I told you, Sheon, even
in
here,
what sense?
Sheon, even here, I told you before, by benefit of hindsight now, and thank God, Almighty, God is all wise. Of all the three major candidates that ran for that election, none of them, except Bola Tinubu, could have faced this quagmire in which you are, would have had the heart to breast it and the knowledge and the resources to do what he's doing. I am telling you for a fact.
Doesn't this sound like a betrayal to a man you said was the best man for the job? Peter Obi.
I spoke English. I said,
and I'm responding in English.
I said by the benefit of hindsight.
Now the question is what has changed?
There's no betrayal.
What have you seen that is different now? And Peter Obi has been explaining how there is a derailment in the policy direction of this government. What he thought he was going to do and do differently in the handling of the economic policies and the policies and governance direction.
Has Peter Obi told you what he will do if he was president? Has he told you?
Yeah, he has said it. He said he was going to do differently. He's going to focus on productivity. Yeah. He's going to focus on production. He's going to make Nigerians work.
Talk is cheap.
So you don't believe in Peter Obi any longer?
It's not that I don't believe in Peter Obi. Peter Obi was a damn good candidate when we got him.
You sold him to Nigerians.
But we lost that election. and a better man won.
And you don't think
it's
that
a competition.
You don't think that what you sold, is I mean, as someone who marketed Peter Obi, and now you're thinking
with
that
all sincerity of purpose,
and you thought
honesty.
that Peter Obi was better than Tinubu, was better than Atiku.
That's what I thought.
But now you don't think he is.
Now, from seeing what Bola Tinubu is doing, and his disposition, and especially after seeing him yesterday, I am more than convinced that if this.
You know what? Family members, the way this man is talking, I hope you people searched his dress or his agbada or his shokoto, because he's now talking like someone who has remnants of corn in his pocket. I'm honestly, sitting down here listening to him, he's beginning to sound like someone who has remnants of corn. Because if I listen to his younger brother from the Niger Delta, that sounded like...
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You gotta trust man. Adam.
You got to trust man. So doing, I am predicting that this video may haunt you if God keeps us alive. This video may haunt you. And I'm saying, and I'm thinking, doing with all due respect, we know each other, but with all due respect, I honestly think that this interview that you came out after seeing Tinubu and you granted this interview, I sincerely think that your pocket contained some corn, some agbado, or some in it, because it's not, it's not adding up.
This gentleman is giving understanding and time. He's going to get us out of this problem.
Now, how many months is this? So, this is the 18th or 19th month. Is it 18th month, right? That this government has taken over. A president that has governed you for 18 months has never sat down with you to discuss with you, to talk with you, only speaks by proxy. Now meet someone like Doyin, sits down for 1 hour and Doyin prays for him, then maybe some corn, yellow corn were added in his pockets, and he comes out to speak in parables. Nigerians.
And I'm telling you, none of these other two people could have done anything better. No, you heard him what he said. It's okay. As I said, talk is cheap. I'm going to do production. What production from where? Listen, you are paying 97% of your total revenue as a nation to service debt. Now, every other thing apart from air we're breathing is subsidized. There's foreign exchange arbitrage. There's, fuel subsidy has been on the table for the last 20 years. Nobody had the nerves to even try to do it. But this, at the point at which I read Atiku's proposition, he said, if he was president, he would borrow $10 billion to do something, another $25 billion that makes $35 billion. Who's going to lend you money? By the time Buhari was leaving, Nigeria was not sellable. Nobody was going to give Nigeria $1 billion anywhere. And that was why, because we could not borrow money anywhere, the Buhari administration went ahead and did an illegal and an unlawful thing through the ways and means and printed 21 trillion naira. So when you are faced with that, that is a quagmire. That is confounding. Only a brave man, a man with mental resources, a man that is sure and confident in himself can do what Bola Tinubu is doing. And thank God he's one there.
Yeah, you worked with former President Olusegun Obasanjo
yes, I did.
Closely. You also work with former...
Guys, after this show, you guys will have to make sure we save this video because this video is needed.
President Goodluck Jonathan. In fact, there are some people who say, bring back Jonathan now, because considering the economic indices in this country, those who, and you saw even the argument of former President Olusegun Obasanjo about the state of the economy and how it thinks that there is a mishandling of the economy under this government. And look, this is what Atiku Abubakar says. Quote, we would have planned better and more robustly. My reform journey would have benefited from more thorough preparations, deeper diagnostic assessments of Nigeria's conditions, increased consultation with key stakeholders, and well-defined ideas for the final destination. We would have relied on my comprehensive reform agenda as set out in my quote, my covenant with Nigerians, a policy document that aimed to protect our fragile economy by preventing business collapses. Our document outlined policies that were consistent and coherent. Now, the question I'd like to ask, based on what Atiku Abubakar said, he said that he has set out a policy that is coherent, properly structured, properly planned. From what we are seeing, the decline in the economic, major indicators in our economy, does it show that there's a coherence in the policy of this government?
Sure. I told you, talk is cheap. If I was a public relations person for Atiku, I could have even written a better script. All right? Beautiful communication, low in content. But there's no content.
Would you have said that an Atiku Abubakar is a cheap talker for someone who was a vice president for 8 years? Would he have, based on his experience,
vice president for 16 years doesn't mean anything.
He helped to run the economy in some ways.
We are in a situation.
You don't think that Atiku Abubakar understand the economy of Nigeria?
I didn't say you didn't understand. You can understand the economy. I have no idea what to do. Or your mindset may be such that it cannot actually accommodate what is required. Only, I don't want to use this word because it keeps coming to my mind. Only somebody who is just, who is just crazy, like Bola Tinubu, will stick out his neck at this. Whoever who will come to run Nigeria after 8 years of total destruction by a former administration.
Well, only someone who is crazy can do this. I'm not the one that called T-Pen crazy. Tony Okukbe said that the T-Pen is crazy. So that Naim Tokam, not me Tokam, DSS, take note. T-Pen, they said you're crazy, and that only a man who is crazy can wreck our economy. No, not to wreck our economy. Stop. Only a man who is crazy can fix our economy, and T-Pen is fixing the economy. We have seen if this is how economy is being fixed. I beg, may we never see a fixed economy, because this is how in the words of doing, that is only T-Pen who is crazy that can fix the economy, and we are saying hallelujah, may the economics be fixed. Papo Binoyendot says that this man is talking from his pocket. Well, I don't know where he's talking from.
Oh yes, I think we didn't talk about this yesterday, but I'm sure he has that on his mind. That I brought Buhari, and so I may have to take some part of responsibility. But then Yoruba people say, "I like them to be on my. I'm mojo the way." The fact that he brought Buhari and Buhari didn't do well, we can't kill him for that. But I think Nigerians are being unfair. This gentleman has been here for 17 months only. There was a man that was here for 18 months.
Man, sometimes when these people say these things, you feel like smacking yourself. Or if they come close to you, you might even extend your hands of greeting to their face. Come on. How can you be saying this? Because you're not, please do not detach it. This is an APC government, and government is a continuum. Getting to 10 years, we're all ruined. This government ran an election in 2014, 2015, telling us, are we happy that dollar is being sold at 214? Are we happy that dollar is being sold at 184? Please, with the beg now, we are on our knees. Take us to the PDP useless and stupid years. Just take us to 2015. thing. Please, with the beg now. Man, I feel like crying. These guys, come on.
And for 8 years, nobody asked any questions. Nobody said anything. Now this one.
How can you say for 8 years nobody asking questions? Is it not the same Tinubu that was supposed to be speaking to the man he brought to power that kept quiet?
He's there for 1 year, and you're asking, why?
Oh, you see what this man is telling us? Because Tinubu is there for 1 year and 7-8 months, we should not ask him questions. Jesus Christ! I don't know the type of water they drink. Whenever somebody comes out of Asorok, like Papu Binonyedot says, they speak from their pocket. I don't know the type of water they drink in there. You go in there, a normal man, you come out, you begin to scatter.
Is he not correcting the ills of 40 years? Well, who does that? From where?
So let's put things into perspective.
Yes.
Dr. Okupe. When you say Nigerians are being unfair, in what?
Some Nigerians.
Because is it the fact that
they are asking for
prices of food are high, and in the manner in which things have gone and spiraled, actually, would you say Nigerians are being unreasonable?
Not unreasonable.
Just a moment.
I didn't say unreasonable.
Those who are unable to feed, those who are unable to send their children to school, those who are unable to put fuel in their vehicles, those who were buying petrol at less than 500 naira, who are now buying it at almost 1,000 naira, those who are buying tomato at double the price or triple the price they were buying it 1 year ago, those who cannot send their children to school any longer because the school fees had gone through the roof. Would you say those are unfair and unreasonable when they talk and say things are difficult?
Can I say something?
Is there a realization, Doc? Is there a realization that things are difficult?
It would have been easier for Bola Tinubu to come into the government and continue printing money and continue looking for where to borrow money, and then we keep looking as if we are fine, and then the whole roof comes down and we become in Venezuela or Somalia, God forbid, where people without any gun will on their own emigrate and run out of this nation. Listen, I'm a doctor, right? I'm a medical practitioner by training. In surgery,
of a lot of years. Some people have said you may not even know where to.
That is point.
Sheung, I didn't know Sheung in this manner. Sheung has indirectly told him, Oga, your license has expired.
I have the basics. Sheung, sometimes when patients, are critical and you need to do surgery to remove certain parts of the body, you will have to clamp the source of supply, the arterial supply. You have to clamp it for some time so that the field can be clear. Because if the field is not clear, you cannot operate. So,
why I say we should save this video is very simple. In the next 2 years, you will hear things like, re-elect us so that we can complete what we have started. Re-elect us so that we can do this. After 8 years of Buhari, recall that all of us are still alive. First year, when we complained, they said, leave Buhari now, he's still coming, he will fix it. Year 2, you people are in a hurry now, PDP destroyed Nigeria. Year 3 now, living now, the man is not well. Year 4, the same thing. Year 5, when he came for second term, give him more time, he will fix Nigeria. Year 6, he will fix Nigeria. Year 7, he will fix Nigeria. Year 8, he now destroyed Nigeria. Now we click the reset button. We come back again. Year 1 of Tinubu, fuel subsidy is gone. Year 2, people are speaking from their pocket now. Year 3, don't worry, please give us more time. Buhari destroyed the economy. Year 4, after the election, we'll fix it. That's how we will continue. Jesus Christ.
They are doing now, they are clamping arterial supply, which will make life a little bit uneasy. But when the surgery is over and the clamp is removed, we are going to come back to good times. That is the truth. And I want to tell you something. the opposition must know something. Politics, I mean, the campaign is over. Election is over. They should just go back, and go back to the drawing board and plan on how to come back in 2027 to try to take power. Not just just every little thing you bring issues up.
So let's give apple for apples.
Honestly, I am sort of dumbfounded that Doyin will be saying this. Every little thing you bring issues up. What is the job of the opposition? If we actually structure the opposition the way opposition ought to be, we should, within the opposition party, have shadow ministers, shadow SAs, people who are doing things as if they are in government, just running it. The moment you have government from day one, if you are the shadow minister of state, if you're the shadow FCT minister, you get into the office, that's things you've been like rehearsing for years, you now begin to implement it. That people will now ask questions, and that Doyin Okupe of all people will misconstrue that in this manner is legendary.
Oranges for oranges. Let's make a fair comparison.
Correct.
Some of us are diehard fan of the entity called Nigeria, and whoever is in office.
I'm in that team.
Okay, all right.
And I have been
even those of you who are on the tarmac
very, very long time. All my life, I have served Nigeria. All my life, I have believed the use of Nigeria. All my life, I have staked everything I have for the country.
Now, under the past governments, and when you say that this government is doing very, very well, and it's good for us to put the data and the facts to it. The GDP, in terms of comparison now, Nigeria ranked 4th in the continent by GDP. Today.
Correct.
On that basis, you think we're still doing very well?
Excuse me. Can you do comparative analysis of GDP consideration in 14 months? Can you show, in all honesty, what was the GDP in 2014, 2015 when GAG was there? It was about we were number 1. Okay. Then from that time, we cascaded down.
We rebased at some point.
Yeah,
under GEG.
Under GEG.
Yeah, and we rebased under
number 1.
Yeah.
And we cascaded down. Why are people developing temporary amnesia? That period of ignominy, that period of disaster, that period that nobody can explain. Those eight missing years when there was no governance in this country.
You mean under Buhari?
Very clearly. Let's say it. Let the truth be told.
But there are those who will say under Buhari you had infrastructure development.
I can get their cover from just 340.
Under Buhari, we had infrastructure development. Sometimes you just want to wonder from which hymn book are these people reading from. Under Buhari, we had infrastructural development. Under Buhari, we had Jesus Christ. Sometimes I don't know what to say again. I'm kind of dumbfounded.
Go to the southeast. They will tell you about the
in this administration. Is there no infrastructural development? Even in 1 year. In 1 year, this administration has done more than 80% of what Buhari did.
Honestly, this cannot be normal. This is what you call life transformation. Just like someone, the Holy Spirit came upon you, you began to speak in tongue. Doyin, who was a campaign lead within the opposition, Doyin, who worked with us, just entered that Sorok, and Doyin came back, started speaking from his pocket. Wait a minute, somebody should search him. Let's know where the connection is coming from. There must be some connection somewhere. Wait a minute.
8 years.
That cannot be fact.
It is a fact.
This guy is even speaking more verbosely and locudiously, more than Voila, Renault, FKK. No. This is, I mean, I can't believe it.
Yesterday, I was listening to Umahi. You know, look, this road, the acquired to Calabar Road,
The Coastal Highway,
has been on the pipeline for 25 years. The Sokoto Lagos Badagry one has been there for 50 years.
It's not about how long it has been there. In Igbo, we say nchipute dabuho okuko. The collection of cocoyam in one point is not it doesn't mean it has been planted, right? So the taste of the pudding is in the eating, not pointing hand from Lagos to Sokoto. They take hand to construct road. Not even talking about the coastal highway that has been a controversy, embedded in serious controversy, where houses that ought to have been brought down have been accused that those houses are not being brought down. Houses that then have C of O, maybe because of the level of individuals that own them, that hold those houses now are coming down. How can we say that? And it is, indeed a very sad, narrative to actually note that someone who is part of the leading opposition party will just come, bam, started talking from the pocket. That is something to behold. Honestly, I am gobsmacked.
But all these things, somebody is doing something about it, and something is happening. So don't come and talk to me about it.
All right. So let's talk
about
okay, we will talk about it, Doc, because if things are better, we will know. And you just
talking
remember,
of 17 months. 17 months.
Doc,
how much can you do in 17 months?
Just let me say this to you, Doc, that
Okay, you can do damn a lot in 17 months. Do you want us to begin to name nations that have done wonders in 17 months? Do you want us to go there?
if you have a gym instructor and you approach the gym instructor at 260 pounds, you weigh 260 pounds, and you tell the gym instructor that I want to go down to 80 pounds, and you have been able to do that in 3, 4, 5 months, it shows improvement. It shows that you have achieved your goal, your target. But if after 3, 4, 5 months of your timeline, you have added 40 pounds, you are now 200 pounds over the 160 pounds that you were. You are not going, you have not gone anywhere.
That is not applicable.
Economy has indices. And I'm using that as an example.
Met, a certain amount of money in the foreign reserve. It has increased it. The foreign debts and local debts that they're owing and obligations, they have paid it. There are times, there was a time when certain airlines will not come to this country, and even those who are coming to this country will reduce their flights, and they are causing a lot of trouble, increasing their prices, but they have paid them 7 billion, they have paid them all. So don't come and tell me that you are.
Let me give you another. Let me give you another.
Let me be fair. This, it is our country.
We want this.
It is our country.
Just a moment, Dr.
Let us be fair.
Bola Tinubu is not the owner of this country.
Correct.
Bola Tinubu is not the owner of this government.
Correct.
He leads the government. We want him to succeed, because if he succeeds, he's for me. If anybody is criticizing him, and the conversation we're having about the economy, we want our country to be better.
Correct.
Take a listen to this, sir. There is an average GDP, and Atiku Abubakar is putting this out also in the public. They say, look, under the Obasanjo administration, 6.59% is the GDP growth rate. It peaked at 15% in 2002. 7.98% under the late Yar'Adua administration and 4.8% under Jonathan, compared to the 2.8% of the Tinubu government.
You see, now you have done the same trick. What was the GDP under Buhari government? Tell me. That's not the same thing.
Is this an APC government?
It's nothing to do with APC.
8 years ago, was it an APC government?
You know me, I don't believe in APC. When they formed the APC, I told the Nigerians that this was a conglomeration of immiscible liquid.
You are only a Tinubu believer. You are not an APC.
I'm not APC. I will never be APC.
What changed? You went to the villa. You suddenly just changed. You were transformed.
No, I have been defending this administration
Honestly, Sean, I owe you one. When we meet, where would they meet? I owe you one bottle of small stout. This government now, I cannot afford to give you big stout. Now, small one I will give you because you asked the question. You're not an APC member. You just went to see Tinubu, prayed for him, came back, and you're speaking from your pocket. Come on.
Even ever before, before I went to the villa, I've not seen Tinubu with my eyes except yesterday for the last 8 years.
And you think he's a messiah now?
He's not a messiah, but he's a man that is ready to work. He's a man that is dutiful, and luckily, he's endowed mentally.
And what do you think? What do you think Nigerians who are suffering, who are feeling the hardship now? How do you think they will see you and perceive you now?
It's nothing to do with.
Cheung is actually at some point trying to run away because many of you who don't know that sometimes when you are interviewing people and you want to play the devil's advocate, if you don't do it very well to exclude yourself from the rot, so when people begin curse, they go curse you, come and join. So that's exactly what Seun has done here, trying to question him in a way that everybody watching will say that I beg, my madness never reach here. Or, I've seen my hands, or they are so clean, or I'm just trying to ask him questions. And the guy is still digging.
Am I in government?
No, but you are defending and saying this is the best thing that could have happened to Nigeria.
Based on the knowledge, facts, and information that I have, and knowing fully well that anybody who came into government in 2023 and did not do what Bola Tinubu is doing would have been a major, unpatriotic.
So he's breaking the ice. He's doing a tough job
with his head. I told him with his head. He's breaking the ice with his head.
I'm breaking the coconut also.
He's breaking everything.
Seun, you're very wicked. Says Tinubu is breaking coconut with his head. Tinubu, how many coconut? Okay, Tinubu has denied you. Because if even there are party members, party members.
Today, I want to declare without
Oh, sorry. Don't declare. Because if you declare the way you are moving, you move like Sabinos. So calm down. Let's go back to doing. Some people are saying you're speaking from your pocket. So but continue.
Breaking everything.
But to what end?
We just need.
Are we seeing the result?
The results are coming. The results are showing.
When will they come?
This interview, you can only laugh because this is so funny. Say, have you seen the result? No, the results are coming. I beg, when will the result come? Is the result going to be like Sapele Road, where we know they go front, we know they go back? Oh, I forgot. Results are coming. We must go to church and pray. Wike, come and lead us in prayer.
Ancient of days, as old as you are, as old as you are.
Amen. So you have led us in prayer now. So let us bring Evangelist Doyin Okukpe, the defender of the Ribadu Empire. Continue.
They are showing gradually. They are showing. Look, I'm a farmer now. I farm. Look, even the simplest thing you do
is more lucrative than medicine.
Seun, I don't know what you took. The way you are attacking this guy, farming is more lucrative now than practicing medicine. Oh, dear, Jesus.
Let's take a break, Doc.
This guy is just cracking me up. How can you just be? Oh, Seun, go better for you. Meanwhile, before they continue, Okowa has been accused of Okowa, the River State, Delta State Governor, 1 point how many trillion, according to EFCC. But something has been trend, something like this. So don't say I'm accusing anybody. But here, I heard that Papa G.O. in 2022 actually was saying that God uplifting Delta State through Okowa. I'm not going to say that Papa was speaking from his pocket, or I'm not going to say, but because you can see he has a mic. He was speaking from the mic, not from the pocket. But if we go, he dropped the mic and he came close, and the Spirit spoke to him. Oh, yeah. Suddenly, after the Spirit spoke to him, they brought out that this guy that was his so close, oil derivation, 1.3 trillion. You see how Delta is growing in criminality. In the time of Ibori, when we thought we have seen it all, it was amateur billion. In the time of Uduaram, when we thought that the highest crime committed in that state was the amount they looted using Data Saba Airport. Now, maybe this is the money they used in contesting for the VP, or the money they used in buying PDP VP slot. I don't know. But 1.3 trillion to still know now wow, 1.3 trillion. So our stealing now, we've gone from stealing thousands, hundreds of millions, billion, we are graduating into trillion. Now wow. One day we'll go wake up, or this country will just crash. The country will just collapse. That it's just like collapse.
5 days it is a road. I know go back, I know go front. I know Giri make you go back. I know Giri make you come. The road you don't spoil. The people ask I know Giri make you open the road. While I too no back, no foot, nothing. Government no look at the people. What you call government be this? I beg government the beg pays.
So government is not looking at the people, but the road that that this man, Dangote driver, is crying for, that he cannot go front, he cannot go back. That road, still in the Niger Delta. And 1.3 trillion, no, man. This one is already giving me a headache. I need paracetamol, man. 1.3 trillion. 1.3 trillion. Jesus. How many generations with? What is wrong with people? How much can you eat? 1.3 trillion. 1.3 trillion. 1.3 trillion. Jesus.
Fraud and diversion of funds. Details right here on Channels Television. We'll be right back after this break, everyone. Join us again.
Energy supply.
This is 1.3 trillion that is to 1.8 trillion. So I mean, come on now. How would they do this kind of work? 1.3 trillion. Anyway, let's get back to Doing. Now, Doing, I believe at this point, will now begin to attack, anyone. You see the reason, okay, I put it this way. Doing will begin to attack the person that anyone who visits Aso Rock and comes back and starts speaking from his pocket would naturally attack. I'm not saying use your mouth, use your tongue.
We breast it. He's asking for the job, or he asks for the job and he's up to the task. But the indices are not, and the livelihood of Nigerians, those who are going through this tough situation, are saying that this is not what they bargained for. The government brought the GDP to the fourth in Africa under this government, under that 18 months that you're talking about. How then do you want to tell Nigerians that this is actually working?
Seun, go and check the history of reform. There are very few presidents who you can call reformers in the world and in history. When you check the history of reform, there's no reform that gets the result in 9 months. It's not a microwave. That's the truth. Lincoln will, anybody, go and check the history. When you are president and you decide to embark on reform, what you need to do, which I'm not too sure, or the Tinubu is doing well, is you must keep communicating. You must keep talking to the people. They are failing in that respect. You must keep telling them, look,
what do you communicate then? If you're working hard or you are doing well and it's showing the lives of the people, isn't that the best communication?
They've got to see, you can envision the light at the end of the tunnel, but they're not wearing your prisms or glasses. You have to make them to see it through your eyes, what you're doing. I have seen it because the benefit of, my position, my understanding and exposure. But, the people must know. So it's going to take, and I don't think it's going to take too long from now. But if we do not go through this tough time, the country would have collapsed. So believe me for this. And it would have been much more serious than what we're facing.
You took a hit at your former principal, Mr. Peter Obi.
I didn't take a hit. No.
Yeah, you said to him. You criticized him on Twitter. Based on his comment on an online.
I corrected him. I cannot hate Peter Obi. I am sentimentally attached to Peter Obi. Peter Obi.
How do you balance it?
Listen to me.
You're attached to Peter Obi.
Hold on now. Peter Obi was my project. And I am part and parcel of those who built Peter Obi up. I can't publicly, denigrate that or break down that house. No, I won't do it. But, when the sensibilities of some of us are affected, we, especially when it becomes, a zonal matter. I mean, when you take entire Yoruba race, you call them out. I'm an elder statesman. I'm primarily, first and foremost, a Yoruba man. If I cannot speak the truth at my age, then there's no point to live. What Peter Obi said was wrong. To say that Emilokan, they should now ask people in Ogun State whether they are buying bread. When Bola Tinubu said Emilokan, he was not addressing the nation. He was not addressing a rally. He was addressing, APC delegates in the premises of Ogun State government who are going to APC convention that they should vote for him. And he said, look, and he was speaking Yoruba, and there's nothing wrong with that. He said, look, I helped to form this party. I helped to do this. Buhari contested election first, he lost. Second, he lost. Third, he lost. Then, I came in, and I helped him to become president. I also helped your son to become vice president. Even Biodun
called him a lady.
Whatever it is, he said, even this governor, I helped him. It is now my turn. What's wrong with that? He said,
No. Doing, let us bring context to this. Doing, let us bring context to this. Let me quickly see if I can find the video in question so that we iron this out once and for all, right? Because I think you are trying to misrepresent fact. You're trying to misrepresent facts here. I think it's called the Emilokon. Let me see if I can get that video quickly. Emilokon video. I had that video before, actually. Anyway, let me allow him go ahead to speak. Then I'll bring the video in context here so that we'll break this down.
He said it in Yoruba, I am the next in line for this office. It's legitimate. It was not tribalistic. It was not, it was not a Yoruba thing. It was just something that said, look, I haven't been this leader that has done so much. I should be given a chance to give a shot at it. So, when Obi makes that statement, it insults us. I was a Yoruba man. I'm not blind and I'm not crazy. I left everything and I followed Obi. Obaba Obasanjo, for the first time in his political career, left his circle of influence, Babangida, Abdul Salam, Tiwa Danjuma and co, and he deviated for once and, came to support Obi.
Do you regret
do you regret supporting Peter Obi? I don't, because... Would you do it again? If, they say that now there's a problem, I cannot do it again. You know why? Because the reason why I did it was that what we agreed was that a southern president must emerge. All right? And, but that's what I'm saying. Babadibanjo called me and said, if a southern president must emerge, which zone must it come? Let's be honest and truthful. I said Southeast. He said, so let's support them. Now, if all these, or Shitoku, all of us, if all these eminent Yoruba people supported you, why now bring us down publicly? It's wrong. That's what I did. I didn't take a jab.
I think that's where the whole thing falls apart here. The question why I think Doing is being smart by half here. It was a clear case of saying it is in governance. It's not about saying it is our turn or my turn. It is about what you bring to the table. And he clearly says, if we want, we can play the video, that after saying it is your turn, it could have been after saying it is my turn from the Southeast, yet my people from the Southeast does not buy bread cheaper than someone from Castina. So he says, even if when people have said to themselves, Emilokon, why are they still not buying bread cheaper? That it is about the ability to change things, the ability to make things right for everybody because of the decisions of the government that was being taken, that he believes that this government is not getting it right. And that is the context here. But obviously, for obvious reasons, someone who just came out of, the villa saying the president must say something to impress, whatever the transaction that happened in there. He must have something to say in order to impress, whoever either brought him in there. And he coincided actually with a cut clip from what the Honest Punch podcast was, in that interview. Now, I believe he will feel silly now if he goes back and listen to the full interview, because in honesty, he reacted so quickly before he even attended that interview, that yesterday with Sean.
I just called, and listen to me, Sean. From now on, we are no longer going to keep quiet for people who just think they can insult Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu in the Southwest is...
Look, he is no longer going to keep quiet for those who would insult Bola Tinubu. No, not those who abuse Nigerians, those who rape Nigerians without any form of protection. No. But any time you think you insult Bola Tinubu, that means you are now in the league of FKK, you are now in the league of Daniel, and you're now in the league of Reno Omokri, right? 4 of you. Because you have now deviated from defending Nigerians into defending a man that, because he allowed you to visit him, you are just basically joined Dasari Dokubos to talk what I would describe as nonsense.
I didn't take a jab. I just called, and listen to me, Sheon. From now on, we are no longer going to keep quiet for people who just think they can insult Bola Tinubu.
Ooh. Atiku, you're in trouble. Atiku, do not ever call Tinubu T-Pen, because if you do, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after you.
Bola Tinubu in the Southwest is the apple of our eye.
Woo! La, la, la. Bola Tinubu is the apple of no. Hold on. In one breath, you say it's not about the Emilokon. It's not about the Yorubas. In the other breath, you say that Bola Tinubu is the apple. So is he the Nigerian president or the? Okay, you're getting me confused now.
And even when he does wrong, he's not doing wrong.
Oh wow, wow! Bola Tinubu is not doing wrong, guys. Many of you must save this video.
He's not doing wrong. But things are not looking well. They will look well because we know.
Oh, he's not doing wrong, but things are not looking well. But things will look well. Okay, stay one place so that thunder that is coming from the gym will know which direction to go. So stop moving. Stay one lane.
How do we then when things are not going right? And so I've just told you, it's a reformer. Just a moment. Some of us believe so much in this country, we kept quiet, and those who kept quiet, just for a moment. Yes. I mean, your belief, you can measure the intensity of your belief. I can measure my own intensity of my belief. So in the Nigeria project. No, but the question I'm asking that when people had believed in past presidents and past leaders, and we found that we woke up one day and we saw that our nation was on the ground. Should we still keep quiet with the benefit of experience? Nobody's asking everybody to keep quiet. But listen to me. You have a house, a 50, 60-year-old house that, the roof has been leaking for 60 years. And now at the 60th year, you now come and say, this is too much now. But if the leak is now more than what it was before. Nobody repaired the roofs, and now, somebody now comes in and in 1 year, you say, So you're doing more of an ethnic protection rather than the national protection. That's not true. You said it's the apple of your eyes as even when it does wrong. I didn't say when it does wrong. I'm qualifying this personality. You cannot take Yorubaness from me now. All my life, I have been a nationalist. I have never done Yoruba party. I will never do Yoruba party. I have always aligned even with the North. Don't bring this type of thing. We have passed this stage. We have. But what we are concerned about is that at some point, people are concerned and emotional about what tribe, what region the president comes from. For some of us, we don't care. What we care about is
good governance.
Who can fix this nation? We can get this nation on the right track. In some other countries, we fix this nation.
Okay, I think enough of this jargon from you. But let's go in terms of, for those who do not understand, what is on about. Let's actually bring this here to context. This is the audio here, the clip. Now, the reason why I've chosen from Kayode Ogundamisi is that Kayode, obviously, I don't know how to qualify him as a friend, but Kayode here has this clipped out, but he wrote something here that is actually very instructive. Kayode wrote here, when I called Doyin Okukwe spineless, anywhere below face opportunist, he went gaga. Doyin FFK and our favorite Alagbafo have the same characteristics. Alagbafo will soon unravel, right? So now, because of that same cutout here, and this is what Peter Obi said that actually ailed him. Listen to this.
Let's talk about what is happening today. Rice is 100,000 naira. We're not even sure where we're going to be with this situation. Is our turn? Is a Yoruba man? Ask the people in Ogun here. Is there any place you will buy bread cheaper? So I can follow you this night and buy one.
Now, rephrase this thing this way and find out if a Yoruba man listening to me now, if you will be angry. Assuming that Peter Obi was, during the election, saying it is the turn of the Igbos. I mean, assuming he campaigned on that mantra, it is the turn of the Igbos, it is the turn of the Igbos, it's my turn. It is the turn of the Igbos because they have not governed before. And he won that election. And under him, the nation is dissolving, melting like butter with a hot knife in the middle. And someone says, well, during the election, you were shouting it's the turn of the Igbos. Even the Igbos, are we not suffering? Is everybody not suffering this? Are we buying food cheaper, or does Indigo buy food cheaper anywhere? Is that anything of insult? That is the context. But in response to that context, in response to that, all we then hear is this, you know, in response to that, all we then hear is something like this. Let me
Take it
play
down.
that once
I
more.
just call, and listen to me, Shehu. From now on, we are no longer going to keep quiet for people who just think they can insult Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu in the southwest is the apple of our eye.
Bola Tinubu is the apple of our eye. In fact, I think it's time to go to bed dreaming about this apple. Let this apple also be the apple of those of you watching me, and those who believe say amen. On that note, I say good night to us, because let us go to bed dreaming about the apple of your eyes. Meet tomorrow once more. My name is Mazes. Okay. Good night. Bye.